got a story to tell you. So yeah, this story is when I was in Korea. I was in the Army. For those that don't know, I was in the U.S. Army at a very young age. My first duty station was South Korea, Camp Casey, South Korea, right? So this story is a story that happens during the time that I was in South Korea, right? So I was elected for lifeguard school. You know, my unit, we had well, not at Camp Casey. My unit moved from Camp Casey to Camp Red Cloud. And on Camp Red Cloud, there was a pool, a swimming pool. And it had to have a lifeguard. Matter of fact, I had to have 3 lifeguards, a lead lifeguard and 2 other lifeguards. And I was elected for the lead lifeguard spot, right? So I had to go to lifeguard training. I don't remember the name of the post, but I do remember it was up north, close to the DMZ, right? It was a really small post, very few Americans, a lot more ROK soldiers than Americans. A ROK soldier is a Republic of Korea soldier. So a lot more ROK soldiers than American soldiers. You know, me and my buddy, my battle buddy, we were sent there together. We were the only 2 in our there was a few other Americans on the post, but in our lifeguard training class, we were the only 2 Americans. Everybody else was Asian. The teacher was Asian, a Korean. The teacher was Korean. All of the other people attending the class were ROK soldiers, so they're all Korean. We were the only 2 Americans. So right off top, I was like, okay, this is finna be an experience. So I already know. That's why I sympathize with the essays that be like in America and they don't speak no English and shit, and they kind of in a room full of motherfuckers and they the only motherfucker that don't speak English and shit. I've been there. I've been in that position. You know what I'm saying? To where I was the one that didn't speak the native tongue, right? So we up here doing this lifeguard training, and it's high speed in the motherfucker. I'm thinking this motherfucker training us to fight Bruce Lee or somebody. We fucking training. We just doing basic lifeguard training. Red Cross. These guys worked for the Red Cross. They were Korean Red Cross people. So they were training us how to be lifeguards, right? Every day we going to training. I think the training was 3 weeks. I want to say it was 3 weeks. But we were bored as hell. Keep in mind, we young as hell. You know, I'm, at this point, let me see, how old was I? I'm about 18, maybe 17. I'm 18. I'm 18 at this point. Maybe I'm about to turn 18. But somewhere around there. You know what I'm saying? Young as hell. So we on this post. We going our training every morning. We doing our PT. We handling our business like real soldiers should, right? But we bored as fuck. Ain't nothing to do. Every day once we done with training, we done got in a few fights. Me and my battle buddy, just because we were so bored and shit. You know what I'm saying? We done got in a fight about it and shit. You know what I'm saying? So one day, I was like, hey, let's go off post. You know what I'm saying? And dude, I already had my battle buddy, he was a higher ranking one out of the 2 of us. So he was really responsible for, if anything went wrong, they was gonna be on his ass about it. Because he outranked me. So, but I still ended up talking him into, let's go off post, right? And just venture out. Let's just go for a hike. Just You know what I'm saying? We fucking soldiers. Fuck y'all talking about? But they taught us all this shit to fucking not use it? No, let's go hike in the fucking mountain. Let's go see what the fuck this country talking about. Facts. So, I finally talked them into it, right? So we leave off post, and we just start walking. Keep in mind, this post was already near the DMZ. It was north of Red Cloud, where I was stationed at. So it's closer to the DMZ than the post that I was, where my weapon and everything, you know, like where I'm supposed to be, if some shit was to pop off. So we're further north from all that, right? From our unit, right? This is a training post. Very small, like a really small post. Like maybe you could walk from one side to the other in like 8 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how big it was. Like almost like a high school campus. That's how big the whole post was, right? So we decided to leave the post and just venture out and go walk off, right? And we did that. So we walked, and it was just everything was so interesting because it was just so different. You know what I'm saying? Like the career that you see where the Americans are, like the tourist spots and all that career looks a little different than the career that they don't show you, it ain't all mixed like that. It's just Korean pretty much. So yeah, so we walking through all these little cities. It was like little towns and little villages and stuff, right? And we just walking for a long time. We just going. And everything is just, we're seeing temples. Ran into a couple of dojos where like they were training, they were doing kung fu training and all, like they were actively doing it. Walked up on a couple of those, you know what I'm saying? Like it was awesome. Like I ain't gonna lie, this probably was the hike of my motherfucking life. You know what I'm saying? So it started to kind of get dark, and we were like, okay, bet we need to head back to the post, right? So we started trying to head. We started heading. Well, what we thought we were heading back toward the post. I think we might have got our navigation was off or something. Something was off, and we didn't go the right way going back or something. So as we walked some more, right, thinking that we're headed back towards the post, right, but kind of thinking that we are, but kind of knowing that we not, because we not seeing the same shit that we seen on the way here, type of thing. So we kind of like we kind of know we lost, but we ain't admitting to it yet. You know what I'm saying? We both still acting like we know what the fuck we doing and shit. You know what I'm saying? And we two young soldiers, right? So the further we walk, right, the friendly, like the Korean, the South Korean friendliness starts to kind of, the friendliness, like the further we get, the friendliness kind of starts to turn into a different face now. They looking at us more like, what the fuck y'all doing out here type of shit. Like they looking at us more like we in the wrong motherfucking area type shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? They know we some soldiers. They know, you know, they looking at us like we in the wrong area, right? So we feeling the energy. We feeling the vibe. It's thick too. So we like, man, we got to figure out a way. I think then, so now once we start feeling this energy and these people looking at us, all these Korean people looking at us crazy and stuff now, instead of, you know, when we were closer to the city, it was kind of more of a, yeah, we don't see Americans around here much, but how y'all doing? You know what I'm saying, thing. But the further we got away from the city, it started to be more of a, hey, we look out, y'all. We see y'all. Watch out now. You know what I'm saying, type of thing. So once we started getting that vibe, me and my battle buddy, we started deciding that that's when we came to the conclusion that we was lost. We was like, hold up, I think we lost, fool, because we ain't been seeing the same shit, nothing. The one little village that we went through on the way here, I don't remember seeing none of those people, none of those statues or nothing, fool. I think we lost, straight up. And dude agreed. We both kind of came to the conclusion that we was lost. We was hungry and everything too. We had ate no chow. We had left early that morning. we had ate no chow all day. We were just walking. We took some canteens of water with us, but that was it, right? So we decided that we lost. So now we got to figure out a way. Obviously our navigation skills aren't up to par as we thought they were, right? So now we got to figure out a way to get our ass back to the post. It's getting dark. These people, it's a different energy. It's not so welcoming anymore. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no weapons or nothing like that. We just out here butt naked. You know what I'm saying? So we start trying to make our way back toward the post by asking people. You know what I'm saying? So every time we run into somebody, we ask, hey, excuse me, but nobody could speak English. That's how far away we were from the town part, to where it wasn't people didn't speak English at all. They didn't even know what the fuck you was talking about. When you by the city, they'll speak. Or they're by the post. If their store or their setup or whatever is by the post, they'll speak English because that's who they be selling their goods and services to. But once you go deep off into the countryside, them people don't speak English. They don't know what the fuck you talking about. You a complete alien to their motherfucking ass. So we asking it. We trying to figure out how to get back to the post. They don't know what the fuck we talking about. They kind of know just by the default, because they know they know where the post at. That's where they from. You know what I'm saying? They know we soldiers. They know half-ass. That's probably what we looking for. So just kind of by default, they kind of know what we talking about. But they giving us the cold shoulder. It's still the cold shoulder energy. It's still the blinds closing when we walk by some of the stores. You know what I'm saying? It's like that, right? So ain't nobody really giving us no real direction. So we kind of just still in limbo. We just kind of trying to figure it out. We hungry as fuck. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, we got to get something to eat, man. I said, you bring some money with you? I said, I got a couple dollars. You got a couple dollars. What's up? Let's try to buy something from one of these shops or something. He was like, nah, man, they gonna spit in our food. Nah, we can't get that food from here. They don't like us. I was like, man, I'm hungry as fuck. I don't give a fuck. Man, then I was like, maybe if we spend money with them, that'll open up their hearts a little. You know what I'm saying? They'll see that we ain't real mean no harm, and then I don't know. We gotta figure something out. And if we don't get back to the post and we miss training in the morning, we fucked. So he agreed. So we fucking went. So we smelled some. It was you couldn't. This smell in the air, you could not miss it. It was the smell. Who knows the smell of fresh bread? Fresh. I'm talking about good ass bread though. Fresh bread, buttery. Just you can smell it in the air. Just the butter and the bread mixed together, you can smell it. You know what I'm saying? So we smelled it. We smelled like fresh bread. We was like, ooh, that bread smell good. We was like, let's get some of that bread. You know what I'm saying? So we went over there, and it was deep though. It was deep how this happened. So we went over to nobody was speaking English. None of the people at the other shops, nobody was speaking English, right? So we went up to the bread shop, and the Korean guy behind the counter automatically says in English, "What the hell are you guys doing over here?" You know what I'm saying? Like straight up said it to us in English. Fucked me up. I was like, hold up now. Either this is the only motherfucker in town that speaks English, or all these other motherfuckers been joshing us the whole time. Either way, we fucked if we don't get back to the post. That's what I'm thinking. So the guy explains to us, the Korean guy explains to us, he did have a heavy accent, but he spoke English. He explains to us that we was way the fuck out of bounds, and we need to get the fuck back inbounds before some shit popped off. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He explained to us like that. So in my mind, I'm like, fuck, we done got too close to the DMZ or something. Cause that's where this lifeguard post was at. Where they were doing the lifeguard training was up by the DMZ somewhere. So in my mind, we done fuck around and done walk, too close or something had to do with that. So goddamn me, he breaks it down to us that we shouldn't be out here. We need to get the fuck back to where we came from. And he gave us some bread. He just gave it. We tried to give him the money. He wouldn't even take the money. He gave us some bread. He gave us like a whole loaf. He cut it up and split it between the two of us and put it in bags, little brown paper bags, and gave us both a bag apiece. And I'm talking about the best motherfucking bread. To this day, I done ate at all kind of restaurants. I done ate at all kind of shit. I ain't never, that motherfucking bread, I don't know if we were just hungry in the motherfucker or what. That motherfucking bread. Shout out to old boy. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucking bread was good and motherfucker. And he gave us the bread and he pointed us in the right direction. So we were going the wrong way, but we weren't way the fuck off. We were just like it was more than one path. Like even if we had kept going the way that we were going, we would have got to the post. So we were kind of half-ass going the right way. He just showed us like a quicker way, kind of like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we ended up making it back to the post and shit. We ended up making training the next morning and all that. You know what I'm saying? But the shit was wild. We thought we was lost. I swear, I'm not for sure. I can't honestly say that we crossed the DMZ because I don't know where the fuck we was at. But I can honestly say that the post that we left from was already up close to the DMZ. And then we just went off walking. So I don't know if we walked that, north. I don't remember. But we didn't plan it. We just dipped. We just filled our canteens and we dipped. We wasn't even thinking about it that much. And we didn't actually even plan on even going that far. That was never the plan. We were just gonna go like into the city and kind of like just explore around in the city. We didn't plan on leaving the city and then keep going and keep going and keep going and all that. That wasn't the plan. That was just some off the wall, just young, free spirit. We out here in Korea. We Americans. Let's see what this shit do. Yeah, the army they didn't say we should do that, but what other opportunity we gonna get to fucking explore the Korean fucking land? You know what I'm saying? What? I'm out here. Let's do this shit. We did it. And fuck around there and they got lost in that motherfucker. Straight up. But yeah, that shit really, really did. That was wild. That was one of my wild situations that happened in my life. My battle buddy, we fucking around got in a squabble and shit too. In the bear. We got a squabble in the bear. I don't even remember what we was fighting about and shit. We had a whole... them big half a circle dome type things they be having in the army and like different army movies and stuff. The big half a circle thing, half a cylinder type building. We had a whole one of those, just me and him, because we was the only Americans there. So they just put us in a whole one by ourselves. So we had a whole building to ourselves and shit. How we end up fighting in that motherfucker, I don't even remember. But yeah, that shit was live though. And then the lifeguard training, that shit was on some more shit. It wasn't no regular ass shit. We was fucking having to do all kind of crazy ass shit. I was like, these motherfuckers training us for the fucking Navy SEALs or something? Like, what the fuck? Why do I have to know all this in the fucking lifeguard? It was fishy. I started thinking they was training me for something else. Straight up, I did. I was like, man, I think these motherfuckers training me for something else. You know what I'm saying? What's these motherfuckers up to? Cause that lifeguard training was a little too intense just to be a fucking Red Cross lifeguard and shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe because it's federal, it's government or something, they gotta make it tougher or something, I don't know. But that shit was hard in the bitch. They was making us swim with weights, all kind of shit. Making us goddamn tread water for 2 hours. Tread water for 2 hours? Can you do that? Fucking going underwater, having to stay under there for like 5 minutes. There's an air tank down there, but you gotta go get the air out of it. You can't come up. You gotta get the air out the tank. You gotta get it, clear it, then breathe in. But you gotta get it first, and it's going around the group of people. So you gotta wait for it to come back around to you. Anyway, you underwater. Yeah, we was doing that. So that swimming with weights across the whole goddamn pool, putting that bitch on your chest and swimming across the whole pool, all this type of shit. Treading water for 2 hours, wild. I say, you know what I'm saying? Straight up. Did I pass my fucking exit? Hold on, I'm gonna have to continue this video in a minute. It's Mighty Media. I'm out.